This sounds ridiculous, but Drew Lock could very well succeed in Seattle. I recently found out the Denver Broncos hired Packers OC Nathaniel Hackett to be their next head coach. But come on, take the field goal, take the point. Win the game.
No, you have to.
See you all later. Welcome to Ruffing the Passer, show where I talk football, miscellaneous stuff, and mostly football. I'm your host, Sam Ruffing. The Seattle Seahawks faced off against the Pittsburgh Steelers in their first preseason game this year in what was a surprisingly intriguing matchup. The Pittsburgh Steelers came in with a slight QB controversy in whether they'll start Mason Rudolph, Mitchell Trubisky, or Kenny Pickett, their first-round pick out of Pittsburgh this year. All three played, and all three looked really good, especially Kenny Pickett at the end, who had a game-winning drive and threw 2 touchdowns and just looked calm and comfortable. And the Seattle Seahawks are also entrenched in a quarterback battle between longtime backup Geno Smith and Drew Lock, who are fighting for the starting job, after the Seahawks traded away longtime quarterback Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos this offseason. Geno Smith got the start being, there forever. And he played well. He was efficient, didn't turn over the ball, had a rushing touchdown, managed Seattle very decently. But I don't want to talk about him today. I want to talk about Drew Lock. And man, when I watched him, he came in the second half. When I watched him, those highlights, I was like, Drew Lock could work in Seattle. I know it sounds ridiculous, but Drew Lock could work in Seattle. The man looked poised out there. He was accurate. He was hitting. He was accurate. He was very un-Drew Lock. He looked confident. Everything felt easy. He had 2 touchdowns. Threw for 110-ish yards, I think. Something around there. And he's shown a lot of growth since coming from Denver. Not gonna lie. He looked like Drew Lock of last year when he started those final 3 games, who was a lot more poised. He stepped up in the pocket. He wasn't throwing off his back foot, unlike his early years in Denver, where he would throw off his back foot, run away, not get up the ball, try to make a big play. Obviously, he still got some turnover issues, but the offense was humming with Drew Lock. Not going to lie. And the offense itself just looked like it fit him perfectly. And that's probably due to Seahawks OC Shane Waldron, who runs a play-action heavy system, which Drew Lock, when he was good in Denver, back in that 2019 season, was running a very similar offense to, under Rich Scangarello. A lot of play-action, a lot of bootlegs, hand the ball off, scheme guys open. And it's only when he switched to Pat Shurmur that everything went downhill, because Pat Shurmur, well, the most creative he'll get is throwing in a fake jet sweep every once in a while. If you want to know how bad Pat Shurmur was, the Broncos under him, failed a Philly special. I don't know how you fail a Philly special, but they failed a Philly special. The weapons in Seattle for Drew Lock are pretty decent, honestly. They have DK Metcalf, great wide receiver. Tyler Lockett, great wide receiver. They have good running back core in Kenneth Walker, the rookie out of Michigan State. DJ Dallas, who's playing really well this year. Rashad Penny. Their O-line's shaky, mind you. But they have addressed it this offseason. They drafted the left tackle out of Mississippi State, who seems to be a stud. At least that's what everyone thought when he came out of college. And the tight end core, and they have a good tight end in Noah Fant, who was with Drew Lock in Denver. And when they were together in 2019, they were both really good. I mean, they both went off against the Texans in week 14 of that season. And Drew Lock's had success with them. Obviously, Noah Fant didn't do great in his final 2 seasons, but also he had Pat Shurmur. So, can you blame him? Now, Drew Lock's turnover issues might be a problem. He's still working on that. And it's just when you're a turnover-prone person, it's really hard to stop that habit. And Drew Lock did have a turnover at the end of the game where he fumbled it. Pittsburgh recovered and scored the game-winning touchdown. Now, I will say this about that fumble. I'm not sure if that was entirely Drew Lock's fault. I mean, I'll give credit to the Pittsburgh defense. They completely bull rushed the left tackle, went right around him, and then as Drew Lock was throwing, he got stripped. The play happened so quickly. I'm not sure if Drew Lock would have had time to react. Grant, he shouldn't have fumbled there, and he did take blame, so good for him. But if it doesn't work out for Seattle, I mean, if Drew Lock is bad in Seattle, it could still work out for him. It could still be a really good trade because, in all likelihood, if he's bad, the Seahawks are going to go, 3-14? Get the first or second, third overall pick? And if that doesn't happen, well, they still got 2 first-round picks to trade up to draft a C.J. Stroud or a Bryce Young out of Alabama in a pretty loaded quarterback class next year. So it's looking interesting in Seattle. I hope Drew Lock is better. I think he could be better with these improvements. He's got the talent. And so I want to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you like my content and want to see more, subscribe below. And don't miss a future upload by hitting that bell. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later.